Hello everyone, this is Chase from Chaser Guides. I haven't been doing a bunch of guiding here lately, but you know what? Who cares? I'm just up here doing some Scarescraper for fun, so let's begin. I'll explain more as we go on, so I don't bend your ear too much at the beginning. Basically what this is, you may have seen my channel and think I'm mostly about speedruns. Yes, I do that occasionally, and I quite enjoy it. But I also just like playing for fun, and this particular video will be about a 24 Scarescraper, how you can do it on your own, and just little tips and tricks that I've learned in my many times of playing this by myself. So, yes. You can press up on the D-pad to zoom in the map if that helps, if anyone sees this. Because I don't think a lot of people realize that are more casuals to this game. You can group up goobs like this. You can blow and suck them to your heart's content to line them up. That wasn't perfect, but, I mean, good enough. I'm a little nervous because, like I said, this is not me trying to go as fast as possible. I mean, I'm trying to go fast, but this is just like a little tips and tricks video, basically. If you have one slinker or hammer and you get them like that, then you can double team them like that if you watch both Luigi and Gooigi on it. It's hard to set up, and honestly the slinker is even harder than the hammer to do such a thing. And honestly for the slinker it's not even worth it to an extent, especially for casual players. But I just want to show that's very much possible. You can also search for power-ups, although I don't think it's super important if you know what you're doing. I might recommend doing it if you're very new to this. But don't waste too much time. But I will say this, timers are more common the smaller amount of players that you have, and the lower amount of time that you have. So don't fret too much about running out of time. Usually the game is fairly generous about when you search stuff to give you timers if you need them. Not always, but usually. If you leave Gooigi around as a sitting duck, you can lure the slinkers and group them up like that, which is very awesome. You can blow them to one another and stun them at the same time, and then you just suck them all up together. Watch, I'll do it again. See? There's Gooigi right there. Lure one slinker, and then the other one should come soon. And there we go. Then you can suck them up. Do not try to double team Ghost like hammers and slinkers when you have more than one, though. If you have more than one, you cannot double team them. Just a little trivia there. Well, not even trivia, that's actually important. But anyway. 24 Ghost is actually not a lot, but this is a normal floor. There's different types of floors, and like I'm just bending your ear a lot because most normal people probably won't even realize like all the ins and outs of this, but I'm just trying to explain this as I go. This is a normal floor. Normal floors typically have a normal amount of ghosts, typically, not always. I mean, sometimes they have a lot, but like, there's a moderate amount of rooms with a decent amount of ghosts populating each room. And these floors can have locked doors, which are almost always required, and switch rooms, which are almost always required. There's also a type of ghost floor. Let's just go through all the ghost floors since we're on one. There's also a ghost floor that has tons and tons of rooms, several ghosts, and like 1 or 2 ghosts per room. Those are awful for speedruns, and they're also awful playing normally. I hate those, period. It doesn't matter if I'm rushing or not. I really don't like those rooms, those floors. And then there's empty room floors, which never has a switch room. It just flat out does not have switch rooms on those types of floors. And sometimes they don't have locked doors, I'm pretty sure, occasionally. But if they do have locked doors, they're not always required. Also, double teaming again. Just practice that. And honestly, if you're going to try double teaming a hammer or slinker, especially a hammer, it's more useful for a hammer. Definitely practice in a bathroom, because it's a much smaller space. You don't have to run around as much. And if you're having trouble getting used to it, a bathroom is definitely the best place to try it out. The last room is up here, which is the bathroom. There's always one of these on each floor, except for rare ghost floors, I believe. These wide 2x4 bathrooms, I guess. And we're done. Not bad, eh? That time was awful, by the way. Like, if this was a speedrun, quote-unquote, I would have already restarted. But this is not the point of this video. This is a video just to help and train you. And if you have any questions, because I'm new at this, and this is kind of like ad lib. I'm trying to explain things as I go, and it may not come across the best. So if you have any specific questions in the comments, any specific questions at all, and you want to know how to do a specific thing, I will make dedicated tutorial videos for that. All you have to do is say so. If not, well, I'll keep doing this, because I'm planning to do every single costume 24 sessions, for a 24 session. Also, the way you do this is, if there's a box in a room, that always contains the gold goobs. If there's a ghost marking on the room, that always contains gold goobs on a money mission. And if there's a box in the room, that's where you want to look. If there's not a box, then you want to look in the furniture, and occasionally it may even be invisible furniture. And whatever contains the gold goobs actually has golden sparkles coming from it, so that's how you can tell. And you want to slam them as much as possible. You don't want to suck them clean, because slamming them yields much more gold. Indeed it does. Okay. You can also get money from other sources, I should note that. And the money variant actually is different per how many players you have. See, right now I'm playing as one player, and I only have to get 4,500 gold. And I believe that each gold bar is worth 20, each coin is worth 1, and each pearl is worth 100, so pearls are definitely important. But yes, you have to get 4,500 in single player. I believe, don't quote me on this one, it's been a while since I played 2-player, but I believe it's 6,000. I believe it's 6,000 for 2-player, 7,500 for 3-player, and 10,000 for 4-player. And 4-player, let me tell you, is a doozy, because not only does it take a while, because everyone has to get like 2,500, but it's also, sometimes you simply don't have enough gold, because there's not enough rooms for gold goobs to spawn to get you mass amounts of gold, and it's absurd, and 4-player money missions are kind of evil. But we're not doing 4-player, and surprisingly, 1-player money missions are actually not that bad. 1-player doing things by yourself a lot of times is typically a bad thing, or harder, but this is an exception. This one is arguably easier. I think this or 2-player is arguably the easiest in terms of these types of floors. Anyway, see, like I said, if there's a box, always go for the box. Always, that's where your gold goobs will be. Also, I'd like to get these goobs just for fun. Now we'll open this up, and I believe each gold goob, like if you get everything, or around everything, it's about 700 to 800 G per 2 gold goobs. And they always come in pairs, they're never by themselves in these types of floors. So, that should be enough, indeed. And like I said, this video is not going to be perfect, and I apologize if some of the things that I am explaining is a little bit confusing. If you have any questions, I will try to answer them in the comments, and if necessary, I will even make a dedicated tutorial video, so do not fret. I'll get back with you. Anyway, wonder what the next floor will be. Also, I should note, per 5 floors in a 5-floor segment of like a 20 floor, you can only have one type of special floor. So like, we cannot get a money floor until floor 6. We will not get another money floor until floor 6 at the earliest. And this is a Toad mission. You do not want to worry about the ghost streams too much, playing it normally, but especially on a speedrun. But that's beside the point. Well, not really, actually, it's kind of the point. But yes, you're looking for 4 toads, and if the room doesn't have a toad and it's not in your way for another room, don't bother with it. Yes. Here's 1 toad. There's green, yellow, blue, and red toads, and oozers are jerks. And you want to get all 4. And do not enter ghost-filled rooms with toads if you can help it, because it does make them panic. Also, if you leave one of your characters blowing on a piece of furniture, if a oozer goes there, it will actually make them come out. So you can leave Luigi blowing on something so that furniture piece, you know, will make the oozer pop out. If this is making sense. Like I said, this is ad lib. Anyway. By the way, I'm going to go into most of these rooms, even if they may potentially not have a toad, because even though I don't recommend that for normal players, I'm perfectly capable of handling myself, and I can fully look at the clock until I have pretty much enough time, unless something really weird happens. And I'm just going to risk it, just to see if there's toads in here, because it's convenient right now. But one interesting thing is if you suck on a toad and take them to the TV, you can kind of skip rooms. However, you can also just go through the TV to leave toads behind. And here's the last toad right here. When they're in bathrooms like this, you almost always have to take out 2 rooms. Except, this case might be an exception because you could technically take him through the TV. So like right here, I could take these 2 toads to the TV. In fact, just to make things a little bit safer for us, for beginner purposes, this is not for speedrunners obviously, but beginner purposes, you might want to take these out. But I will show you what you could have done while the ghosts were still here to make it a little quicker. See these 2 toads? Okay, watch. You want to suck that one up and launch him. Also, be very careful because Boolossus does like to pull tricks, and if he steals your poltergust while you're holding on to a toad, you're actually soft locked, so be very careful of that. I know that's a very big oversight on the part of the developers, but yes, you can actually be soft locked just for having a toad on your vacuum while he steals your poltergust. You get flat out soft locked, and it's upsetting, to say the least. You know, toads are being really finicky this time. And while we're at it, like I said, I'm in no rush. Over here, goobs are just fun to collect. I don't care about getting a ton of them, but they're just fun to collect. And I was like, why not do some extra credit? Yes, but you can do extra credit like this if you want extra points, or you're just playing for fun and you want some extra ghosts for your collection. Just run around if you have extra time and you don't care to wait. Just run around and collect some ghosts in rooms while you're waiting for your teammates to do something, or if you're by yourself, waiting for the toads to go in. Because if you leave the room, they won't go in. And the thing, yeah, we're good. Okay, toad go in, and we're done with toad mission. So like I said, we won't see another toad mission until at least floor 6. We're done with toad missions. Ghost missions are the exception. Regular ghost missions of any type can be over and over. You can have 2 or 3 per 5 floors, or 4. But, yes. But seriously, if anyone sees this, give me some feedback. I'd be very much interested in hearing what you have to say. Any tips and tricks that you'd like to see. Any constructive criticism, like, I'm up for it. I would appreciate it, actually. I think it would help a lot with this channel and the direction of it. So, if you would please, and if you don't, that's fine too. No pressure. Because I'm doing this for fun anyway. If you do YouTube purely as a business, especially early on, that's just a bad idea. You should just have fun with it, man. Luigi's the bait for the slinker, by the way. They like to grab. Oh, and when you're grabbed by a slinker, whether it's you or Luigi, and you want to get them off without your teammate helping you, all you have to do is switch to that character by pressing in the right stick and bursting by pressing ZL and ZR to knock the slinker off. So that's a little bit of interesting controls for you. Also, a lot of floors have hidden rooms. Like, they'll be marked by 2 lights in the hallway, and sometimes they're actually embedded in rooms, and those aren't as obvious, but I haven't seen a single hidden room this entire time, unless I'm just missing it. And hidden rooms, basically what they do is they give you every single power-up and a little bit of treasure, except for a star. You can actually get stars from things that can spawn power-ups, and they're basically like invincibility, and you can just run through ghosts. Now, the treasure rooms don't give you that, but it gives you every other permanent power-up. But the stars are limited time anyway, so yes. Have I rambled enough? I hope not, because I'm just getting started, man. Also, just for a point of fact, you want to burst goobs that have lampshades on because it's easier and more consistent, but you can technically do what I just did and plunger their lampshade off, and sometimes it works, sometimes you have to do it twice, sometimes it's nearly impossible to hit them, so definitely burst, but it's fun to get to do the plunger strategy when you want to. But yeah, this series, I'm just going to try to talk about the series as a whole. This is not only a tips and tricks guide, speedrunner's guide, it's also a just a casual fun playthrough of Scarescraper to show that for normal people, like normal people that don't obsess over Scarescraper, like crazy old me, you can definitely do these single player, and I'm going to basically do every costume once on a 20 floor, just to show you what it's like. I'm going to try to be interacting very much with each floor. May not be doing everything on each floor, but I'm probably not going to like just do the bare minimum. I'm probably going to explore and do different stuff, and not just rush through it, if you know what I mean. First to knock them out of furniture, or just fling them backwards if they're already out. Only 2 more rooms up here. It's the bathroom and this last normal room. Oh, and you want to slam. A note for people who want to get better at slamming. You want to slam after the ghost hit the ground. You don't want to do it, like, you don't want to button mash. You want to do it, like, right after the ghost hit the ground, and you'll slam much faster. And if you're good, I believe you can get 7 slams. 7 slams is what you're looking at. If you have the Poltergust upgrade from story mode, you get that by going to the basement. You get that by going to the basement and doing Egad's quest to get the little toad. And you have to do that on each file that you're doing Scarescraper on. So you do that, then you'll get the upgrade to slam 7. Otherwise, it's 5 times. And if you do that, you'll be able to slam 7 times if you time your slams appropriately. If that made any sense at all, I hope it did. I'm pretty sure it did, but you never know. 5 rare ghosts. Also, something to note about the rare ghosts, they're not random. Like, for single player, the numbers are consistent. So, like, if this was 8 ghosts, I'd be almost 100% positive that we were looking at speed goobs. 5, that actually can be a lot of things. I believe that can be... that might be speed hammers. That might be a 4, though. Okay, something I'm almost positive it can be is thieving slinkers. I'm pretty sure. It's been a while since I played single player, so don't quote me on all of this. In fact, I have a list written down. It's actually funny. I actually have a list written down of how many rare ghosts will spawn on each floor depending on the type. Now, that doesn't apply to floor 10 and floor 15 for 20 floor, but it applies to floor 5 for 20 and floor 5 for 10 floors because it's only one type of ghost. That's not a mix and match. By the way, on rare ghost floors, especially because you can potentially get really deadly ghosts on single player, you really, really, really want to look for power-ups. So it may look like I need to go on because I have the key, but on these floors, even if I could personally handle it, I would recommend getting power-ups on these floors in particular, because these ghosts have way more health. They are way more, they have special abilities. Also, the map shows you where all the rooms look like, the layout of the map, and if there's a hidden room and all that jazz. And it also shows you where keys are. But anyway, you definitely want all the power-ups, and especially if you can help it, get an SP, a Super Poltergust. It's basically your regular Poltergust, but what you suck, it sucks for it sucks at twice the rate of a normal Poltergust, and it's only for 1 floor. You can press the A button to slam immediately. As soon as you latch onto a ghost, you can slam immediately. You don't have to rev up the meter. And the slams do double damage as well. So as you can imagine, it's just amazing. It's wonderful. And if you can get it, you really should try, because rare ghosts can be evil sometimes if you don't know what you're doing. Or you're having, or like you get like a lethal type and you're by yourself. And that can happen, by the way. Like if you disconnect from your friends or teammates, you can actually be by yourself in a rare ghost floor with lethal ghosts. So you definitely probably want to get power-ups when you're by yourself in particular. But even otherwise. And unfortunately, I'm getting really unlucky. I apologize for this. I mean, it's not my fault, to be fair. I mean, it's luck of the draw, but I'm not getting an SP or a Super Poltergust, and it's unfortunate. Yeah, I may not get one, and if I don't, it's absolutely fine. I'm fairly confident I can handle myself, but I want to show for point and fact why the SP is absolutely amazing for this. I guess I'll show you next rare ghost floor, because the game's being stingy. Like, it's being exceptional. It's pretty rare for the game to be this exceptionally stingy. When you go through all of these rooms and they don't give you jack, that's pretty rare. Oh, here's a trash can monster. If you see one of these, and the glasses give them away because they glow, if you have the glasses, you can plunger them, pull on them, and then use the dark light device by pressing X to destroy them. I guess I can go in here. I mean, I guess Luigi can get an SP. Oh, wow, I wasn't expecting that. Thank you, game. Use the key on the door, and then depending on how many teammates you have, you'll all have to assemble here. If you're one player, though, you only have to get you and your Luigi on the platform. And we have regen slinkers. Regen slinkers are basically normal slinkers, except for... Also, I made a mistake, by the way. I should have used Luigi. Except for the fact that they have way more health, and if you damage them and they run away, they will heal themselves at a rapid rate. By the way, you want to suck on them until they have about 140 HP, and then you can do the full 7 slams if you're lucky. Or do it right. Now, with the SP, though, your SP is more than powerful enough to handle this. Just group them up like this, watch. And group them up, and then just press A immediately, and just keep slamming with the good timing, and you should defeat them. See how great the SP is and why you want it? Because regen slinkers, for perspective, are a joke of a rare ghost. Like, they're one of the easiest types you can get, but you still want power-ups with them. So, regen slinkers. Oh, and I should note, on a 20 floor, if you go to floor 10 rare ghost floor and the floor 15 rare ghost floor, you're guaranteed to have whatever you had on the previous floors on 20. So, like, if I have regen slinkers here, I'm going to have regen slinkers on floor 10 as well as one other type of rare ghost for reference. There's 20 here. You can go down these drains, and occasionally these treasure chests will have a treasure for Luigi. Usually it's money, but occasionally you'll get a power-up. Occasionally. Very, very occasionally. It's pretty rare. Rare, unfortunately. And I don't think power-ups are imperative on normal floors overall. The spinning floors in the ballrooms aren't very nice, by the way. Oh, actually, this is a prime opportunity for me to show you something really cool. This is also very nice on a rare ghost floor, but this basically makes the floor a joke. This is a hidden room, and you see how there's no doorways on the top left? You see right here, in the top left on the bottom hallway, there's no door here. But, on that rectangle shape, but there's lights in the hallway, you dark light that, and then you go in, and then lo and behold, there is a room here. It just didn't have an open doorway, or a visible doorway. And then it gives you every single power-up other than the star and the map, I believe. And that is incredible, because it gives you not only all the power-ups pretty quickly, but it just makes these floors easy, because these are normal ghosts, mind you. Like, the rare ghosts can't really stand up to an SP either. But normal ghosts just get crushed by this. I mean, I don't think I need to tell you that. And the slams do double damage when it contacts another ghost too, so like, I slam the ghost to death in 3 hits, and I slam other ghosts with those other ghosts in 3 hits, except for the exception of hammers, because they obviously have more HP. Enough HP to matter. Slinkers technically have more HP as well, but it's not enough to matter, typically. Get this one first because he's in the corner. Also, you want to be right, just for reference, you want to be right next to a slinker before you start sucking them, because slinkers have very weird properties where, like, if you're just near them, and you try to suction them, they can like drift away and dodge you. Whereas most other ghosts, you just have to be near them, but you want to be like right on them when you latch onto them. Especially in bathrooms, because bathrooms are tiny rooms. Anyway, if you stun him and then burst over and over, you can get them closer together, and also kind of daze them for a bit, and then you can grab both of those at once. Oh, sorry about that. That was a Boolossus attack, basically. And Boolossus basically will, usually in the middle of the floor, about the middle of the time, he'll usually either steal your poltergeist, which is by far the worst one, or make your map go away and turn the power off. And the map will come back within a set period of time. The power will come back if you go into a breaker room and hit the switch. Unfortunately, you want to use Luigi to dodge that. Like, you'll be stunned for a very long time if he steals your poltergeist, but if you pop Luigi out and play as him, that won't happen. But I will note that it's actually going to be very difficult to hear Boolossus' laugh because this is a commentated video, so I apologize if I can't hear him to pop out Luigi. This is a money mission, and although power-ups are useful in money missions, they're not incredibly important, so I would recommend not even worrying about power-ups on money missions typically. Yeah, you get about 800 per gold goob if you slam them correctly. Like I said, if there's a box in the room, they're always in there. There's a locked door, by the way, and it may be important, although this is single player, so you don't need as much money. And let's see here. Is there a hidden room? I don't think so. Oh, I should note something. This is just for people who are struggling with traps in this game. And I just want to show this really quick. After I take care of these beautiful, beautiful goobs. And we obviously see where the gold goobs are because of the sparkles. Okay, yeah, that made my Luigi disappear, but I didn't get stunned, because normally Luigi would look around for a really long time and be stun locked. Anyway, popping Luigi out negates that. Anyway, over here, actually, I take that back. Sorry. This is a weird layout, so forgive me about that. You want to go in this room. I mean, I can't really guide you because these are randomly laid out. But that looks like it's in the bathroom. So it's north of this room, so it looks like it's in the bathroom, and you have to go this way because bathrooms usually only have one entrance. I'll cover the traps later. Unfortunately, the losses kind of put a damper on that, but I was going to cover how you can deal with hallway traps pretty easily. But that'll come later. There's plenty of those, so don't worry. Grab this rope. Grab this rope. And these boxes can either have 2 gold goobs, and that's it. And that's your second best bet. It can have 10 pearls, which is your best bet because you don't have to fight anything and it's even more money. It can have gold bars, which is not very much money and awful. It can have 2 gold goobs and 5 regular goobs, which is probably your second worst bet. And it can also have 1 hammer and 2 golden goobs, and that one's not too bad. I mean, it's better to get just the golden goobs, but honestly, the hammer's not that in the way. Now, I guess I only need 1 more batch of gold goobs, and I imagine this room will have some. Yes, indeed it does. Let's go ahead and grab this, and then we'll be done with this floor. We'll worry about traps later. I will go ahead and tell you what types of traps there are, though. There is fake doors, which don't have lights around them typically. They don't have door mats, and you can plunger them. Like if you stick a plunger on them, you can plunger them to destroy them. Like you can pull out the plunger and destroy them. There's carpet traps, which kind of like is separated from the rest of the rug in the hallway, and it kind of has like a little thing sticking out that you can grab. Those are both exclusive to hallways, and there's one trap that you can find in rooms that's a trap wardrobe, and it looks just like a normal wardrobe, except for it has like an evil face on it. Also, this is obviously a hidden room because like there's no doorways here. It's down, and switch rooms never lead down really, like for the locked doors. So I was almost 100% confident that this was a hidden room. So go ahead and grab everything. Well, except the alarm. I mean, you can grab the alarm if you feel more comfortable with it, but that's only a trap alert. It really is. And I simply don't need it. This is a hidden room floor, by the way. And what that basically means is there's going to be a lot more ghosts per certain rooms. Like, certain rooms are going to just have a ton of ghosts. Certain rooms won't have any ghost, obviously. And the key may or may not, if there is a key, the key may or may not be required. It may be an optional key. And on these types of floors, there are never, ever switch rooms, ever. They simply don't exist on these floors. So you don't have to worry about switch room at all. Although single-player switch rooms aren't really that big of a deal because you only need yourself. Anyway. I guess I'll go down and I'll warp. Because I'm pretty sure, because the top left doesn't have a TV, I'm pretty confident that the TV will be in the bottom left and lead to the bottom, or the top right. So, just for reference. By the way, that's a normal wardrobe right there. Not a trap wardrobe. So it's safe to investigate it. Do not investigate a normal or a trap wardrobe, though. That's dangerous. Then warp up here to see if there's any ghost up here. Indeed there is. And this potentially could be the last room. Like, you don't even have to explore all the rooms in these types of floors if you find all the ghosts beforehand. It depends. And there may or may not... You see how that door leads to a room? And usually rooms are never that wide. Like, they're never that wide, so there very well may be a key in this floor that I have to find. Because it could, like, this room could lead to a locked door. Indeed it does, although the key is in this room. And it's always in a... Just for note, it's always an invisible piece of furniture. You never have to worry about making an invisible furniture piece visible to get a key. They're always in invisible pieces, just so you know. So, like, I knew, like, that room only had one visible piece of furniture, so I was good. I knew exactly where it was. 2 ghosts left, and done. This floor is a capture the ghost mission. Okay. Oh, and it's minis. Minis are a special type, by the way. Like, you won't see... Like, if this was earlier, you would not see this again until the next set of 5 floors. And honestly, power-ups aren't super important for these. Usually it's like 10 to 15 mini ghosts of each type, and there's only 2 types of mini ghosts, the hammers and the goobs. And you can stack them up en masse, and the power-ups help a little bit, but they're not that important. But mini hammers are a little bit more resistant to suction, usually more spread out, but mini goobs are very non-resistant to suction, and you can group them up really well, so you definitely want mini goobs for casual play and speedruns, because they're just simply faster, as you can see. And usually you'll have to, like, splash one of a mini ghost in a room to make the others appear. That's usually how it works. We're almost done. Sometimes they're invisible. If they are invisible, by the way, you can use your dark light device to make them visible. So just, if you can't find them, do this all over the room, and you should be able to find them. Or they'll make themselves appear sometimes. Over here. Oh, this is a trap wardrobe, and I should note, if you're scared about traps and you don't know if something's a trap, basically, pop out your Luigi and leave him out. Don't call him back in. If you go into a trap with Luigi or Luigi, well, I'm trapped, and I would have to wait a really long time for it to pop me out. Depending on how many players there are, it lasts longer. Or I can just plunger that and pull it away and save myself. Isn't that cool? Same thing for trapdoors. Let me just show you for demonstration purposes. Slam. And then Luigi can save me if I switch to him. Isn't that wonderful? I think that would save a lot of casual people grief with this, because it's a pain to get trapped, especially in single player. Single player, it lasts a short amount of time, but you also don't have anyone to help you. So that's a good way of saving yourself, especially if you're not playing co-op. You kind of want to tag team with Luigi and Luigi, especially once you get better at doing that, because it really makes your work more efficient. Like, right now, Luigi's standing next to the door to leave, and Luigi's just working on the room. And then Luigi can leave immediately after he's done. $130 is actually like a moderate number. Like, I've seen way more than that, and I've also seen way less. So this is a very in-between number. That's a power outage. Oh, I should note. Well, do I want to show this? You know what? I have plenty of time, and like I said, this is a guide video. Dang it. This is not me trying to rush. So basically what you want to do is memorize the breaker room locations. They're like a single tile room in the hallways, usually at the edge. So like, for example, up here. Actually, no, I take it back. There's a better demonstration. It's right here. See, like it's up off to itself. It's a one tile room, and flash that little green light, and the power comes back on. Also, I should note that Boolossus can only cause shenanigans once per floor. He has a poltergust theft and the power outage, and he can only do that once per floor. So if you have it once, you don't have to worry about him doing it again. At least, unless the game glitches, but under normal circumstances, he can only do it once. Two more. I still need to show the carpet trap, by the way. But it's not super important. I mean, I think you understand, like, if you can recognize the carpet trap, you know how to get out of it, because it's basically the same as the other two. Use Luigi as your partner, and he'll save you. Seven rare ghosts. Now that doesn't really tell me anything because there's two types this time. So it's the regen slinkers. I know they're going to be here. And then some other new type. Sometimes those fans make those paintings move away and you can open a safe, but not this time. There may or may not be a hidden room on this floor, but I'm just checking this balcony anyway because I want some power-ups. SP, okay. That's very good. Also, if you do find a hidden room after you already find like an SP or something, definitely give your second SP to Luigi, because if you double team a ghost with 2 SPs, it actually counts for that. So you're doing, like, you know how the SP is like just way more powerful than a regular poltergust? Well, 2 SPs double teaming is just, it just destroys. It just creams them in a few hits. So yeah, definitely take the second SP. Doesn't look like there's a hidden room, and I'm pretty confident in my abilities to handle this. The only way I'll leave is if there's a lethal oozer or lethal hammers. If there's one of those two types mixed in with this, okay, it's speed oozers. Speed oozers basically throw a volley of attacks at you, but they don't do any extra damage, and they're just very fast. They're not that bad, actually. Also, oozers can do, or slinkers can do that as well, scare you. Also, the rare ghost, one thing I do notice that I don't think a lot of people realize, I think the rare ghost types of slinkers, pretty much all of them, they're all significantly smarter. Like, they don't really get lured by Luigi at all, like regular slinkers do. I don't think any of them do, but I could be wrong on that. But I know thieving slinkers target Luigi exclusively. And I'm pretty sure the other types don't really care about Luigi that much. So you can't really use that trick as much with the rare Ghost Linkers. Oh, shoot. What the heck? There we go. Oh, I got 2 of them at once. Cool. Also, even with an SP, if you have a Rare Ghost Hammer, they have so much HP, you do want to wait a little bit. Like, you want to suck on them a little bit and then slam them. But the other types of Ghosts don't have enough HP for the SP not to be able to defeat them, if that made sense. Next floor. We're halfway done, by the way. $41 ghosts. That's actually a whole lot for single player. So hopefully I can find some power-ups. I did find some glasses. Okay, you know, when there's a high number and it's an empty room floor, it's not as bad as you might think, though, because most of them are conglomerated in one room. So it's probably not going to be that bad. And there could potentially be a locked door in the northern section, I think, but we'll see. There's a ton of goobs in here, though. There's usually one room with just an absolute ton of goobs in an empty room floor. A few more. You definitely want to group them up if you can. I kind of messed that up, so apologies for that. But, I'm not a perfect player, and I don't claim to be. Yeah, this is definitely the goob room, though. I mean, there's 22 goobs conglomerated in this one bathroom. So that's like over half of them. Over half of the total ghost. And this may be another decently sized room, or maybe not. We'll see. It may just be a couple ghosts. Okay, switch to Luigi. Okay, it's just a blackout, and you don't have to turn the power back on. It might be nice for beginners, but you can leave it off, and the map comes back within time. It doesn't matter how quickly you restore the power. The map is just a time-based punishment. The map comes back in like a set amount of time. Another trick I should show you. Oh, by the way, you definitely want to collect these timers. Each one gives you like 30 more seconds. Another trick I should show you is when you're in the hallways, you know how like specifically when you see a trap, you can protect yourself like that, or you can just leave Luigi out and he'll slide along with you. So like as I'm going through the hallways, I can leave Luigi out and he'll slide along and hopefully won't despawn while I'm running around. And if I get trapped, well, he can hopefully save me. Watch. Let's see. Also, I'm trying to find a freaking carpet trap, and I can't find it. Also, that's a locked door, just for note, or for reference. Obviously. That may or may not be required. It is an empty room floor, so I'm going to go to the other rooms to check first, and then if it turns out I have more ghosts, well, then I'm going to have to find a key. And unfortunately, single-player key hunting is a pain in the butt, and I can't really do anything to expedite that unless I happen to find a map. If I found a map, well, it'd be easy to find the key, but other than that, it's really luck-based. I can't really give you tips on that. That's just pretty much luck-based, and you just have to keep track of what rooms you've been to, which isn't too hard in single-player. The map's pretty good in single-player. It's a little confusing in multiplayer, though. And since I may very well have to find the key, since there's only one more room, I'm going to go ahead and check out some of these rooms along the way. These rooms that are convenient. There's another trapdoor, by the way. Yeah, no key in here, but I turned the power on at least. The main problem with the power being out isn't so much that you can't see, it's more so the hallways themselves, like, because you can't see where the traps are. Also, this is the last two ghosts, so that is indeed an optional key, so I should like, make note of that, some keys are optional on these types of floors. Oh, I should show something else too. If a hammer wants to charge at you, sometimes he'll slam, but if he wants to charge at you, come here. And you burst, you can knock him back, and then quickly, while he doesn't have his arm in front of his face, you can quickly burst to get, or flash him, and then you can get him like that, which makes it a lot more pleasant to deal with them if they're ramming at you. Do not try that with a rare ghost speed hammer, though. That's not a good idea. Just trust me on this. Never try that strategy with the speed hammer ghost. Unless you have a teammate or something. This is usually a good spot to get power-ups, and they're decently common. Unfortunately, I didn't get anything, but that's fine. Oh, that's clearly a hidden room. Do you see why? There's no doorways leading there. It's not led from any other room, and here's the lights in the hallway, see? It's not too hard to find. Oh, that's going to make this floor a little bit easier, because I have a feeling this might be one of those several rooms, very small number of ghosts per room floors. Could be wrong on that, of course, but I feel like it is. Oh, and you can steal from your partner, by the way, your Luigi partners or your teammates, and that's sometimes useful, especially if you have the SP. I wouldn't recommend doing that in a nice team, though. I mean, try not to steal when you're playing with friends, but if you're just wanting to steal from your Luigi because you have the SP, definitely do that. Also, it's just me, when you slam a hammer, it sounds like a heartbeat. It's like dun dun, dun dun. Also, I'm really surprised, but other than rare ghost switch rooms, we haven't actually encountered the traditional switch room, have we? That's actually really weird. They can literally appear on any ghost mission that's not an empty room floor, if I'm not mistaken. And they can also appear on... I think they can appear on mini ghost floors too, I believe. I don't think they can appear on money floors, pro floors, anything like that though. So where's the key at? Oh, good, this leads here. See? This is like a quicker pathway over here. And I'm pretty sure this is like a traditional ghost floor, so that key is almost 100% required. Like, I think there's a slight chance that they may not be required, but this one, I can tell because there's rooms behind, like proper rooms behind it. I know for a fact that this one is required, unless I'm crazy, but pretty confident that this one's required. Go ahead and let Luigi out, save me. Luckily I got good RNG, because this one is not that bad. Poltergust Theft not only wastes more time, but it can be really evil if you're in a tough room and they stun you, because that does stun you if you don't switch to Luigi. Use the HS. Also, another trick is when you're using the hyper strobe bulb, the like super light, you have to charge it like to the second level of a normal strobe bulb. And if you like hold A and then you feel the controller vibrate, that is when you want to let go of the A button. Also, this is a carpet trap, which Luigi or Luigi can go into. See how it was like kind of separated from the rug? And then you can get rid of it like that. You can also get rid of it the normal way, like you can plunger the trap wardrobes and the trap doors just normally, even if no one's trapped in there. And the carpet, you can just tug on the little part sticking up if you want to. Even if no one's trapped in there. So I should know that you don't have to trap someone in there to get rid of them. Also, if you go on a side balcony, this is a little bit strange. If you go on a side balcony, and there's two of them, if you go on the opposite one, it will actually show if the key is on the other side. And it's always in the Boo statues on these normal themed floors, and it's always the visible ones. But yeah, it's kind of strange that it does that, because there can be two balconies up top, but if you go on the left top balcony, for example, with two balconies, it will only tell you if a key is in that one. It won't tell you about the other one. But the side balconies, for some reason, they kind of mark each other. I'm not really sure why that is, but it's convenient, so I can't say I'm complaining. But now we have the key. And oh, I should also note that this is just me rambling, because like I said, this is kind of a big guide to cover, like if I'm going over all these little tips and tricks, and this game is very much timed, so there's only ever one key per floor. Some floors don't have any keys, some floors have keys that aren't required, but there's only ever one key per floor. There's never more than one key per floor. So, like, if I got one key, I don't have to worry about anything else being locked. Well, from a key. I guess there could be a switch room, but anyway. That is a little demonstration of how much better the sucking power is on the SP. Because it slams for a lot more, but it also sucks for a lot more. That floor wasn't super nice, but it's not that bad. See, there's a safe behind here. You spin the fan and use your other character to get whatever's in there. Usually it's money, but occasionally you'll get lucky and get a power-up. Definitely get close to the slinkers in bathrooms, because they have a nasty habit of escaping into the walls. A very nasty habit indeed. This could or could not be a hidden room. It could be a very large room, I believe, but I was assuming it was a hidden room. Usually rooms aren't that big. In fact, that may be a little bit bigger than normal, so yeah, I think that was definitely a hidden room. Well, that's gonna make this floor a lot easier. For obvious reasons. And I guess I'll get the alarm, because I'm gonna show you what it does, even though I don't really need it at all. Like, I almost never get trapped in this game, and if I do get trapped, I'm going to be very disappointed in myself. Whoa, by accident. Usually when I'm trapped, it's on purpose. Anyway. Couple hammers, not that big of a deal. Went to Luigi because I heard it. They stole my poltergust, but fortunately, I can teleport up here, and it shouldn't be too far to get to my poltergust. I actually don't know if the work was worth it, to be honest, but it's actually kind of a weird place for work. Oh, that's a switch room, by the way, which you have to have your poltergust for. But in single player, they're not really a big deal because you're by yourself. The switch room requires every playable character plus the Luigi to stand on the switch, but if you're by yourself, you only need you and your Luigi. So that's pretty cool. Also, that gives you a map. It would tell you where a switch room was, teleporters, ghost rooms, everything like that. It would also tell you where a key was if you needed it, but fortunately, this room does not have a key. Or this floor doesn't have a key. Also, I don't know why I even popped Luigi out, because you can still see them because I have the goggles. So you don't really need Luigi to lure them because you can see them anyway. Anyway. By the way, the switch rooms always end in dead ends. Like, they never, ever, like, connect with everything else. Like, if you go past a switch door, prepare to reach a dead end and never be able to access the rest of the mansion that you already knew. Does that make sense? Like, you can't access the rest of the mansion from it. Like, there's no shortcut doors or anything like that. It's you go in, reach a dead end, and then you have to backtrack the manual way. There's really no shortcuts. For the most part. Oh, and anything past a switch room, like if a switch room's like very indicative of getting the a big chunk of the mansion or the floor available, there will never be teleporters past a switch room ever, unless I'm crazy. But there's never teleporters or perhaps even locked door. No, I think there can be locked doors, but there's never teleporters past switch rooms. This is just off the top of my head, but I'm fairly confident about that. And boy, oh boy, does 24 take a long time. No one's even going to watch all of this, I'm fully aware, but I'm having fun, that's what's important. And hopefully a few people stick around to at least hear some tips and tricks. There potentially could be a hidden room on this floor, but I quite frankly don't care. It's not super important in money missions because you don't have to go to all the rooms. The gold goobs, they don't attack you, and the other ghosts, they do attack you, but like you're trying to ignore them typically unless you're really like, you have difficulty with this game and you have to attack the ghosts because they're giving you too much trouble. I guess that is always a possibility. I should be aware of, but yeah. This is where the sparkles are coming from. Come here, you. Sometimes you'll have to do them one at a time if you have trouble with the room, and that's fine. Also, I skipped that pearl. I'll go get it with Luigi. Because, pearls are pretty valuable. Yeah, that's not I don't think that's a hidden room anyway. I think I've done most of the tutorial-y stuff, like, there's that green vent on the wall. Luigi can go in there for a treasure chest that potentially has a power-up. I mean, I guess I could mention that. I mean, it doesn't matter too much, but I guess I can show you. See? Secret alcove with either money or a power-up. And that time we got money, which is arguably better on this type of floor, so I'm actually kind of glad that happened. No boxes in this floor, so we'll have to check furniture. Poltergeist theft, it's fine. Also, if you can, you should try to find the bathroom in these types of floors, because usually it's just the two goobs spawning in a very small space, and it's pretty much the fastest way you can make money on these floors is finding the bathroom, and it's the same amount of money, but it's just so much quicker and not as exploratory. So if you go to the bathroom if you're near one, and it's the last bit of gold you need, definitely do that. Unfortunately, I'm not going to find the bathroom on this run, so that's fine. I'm assuming they were down below. And we're going on to the last rare ghost floor. So basically, same rules apply. We're going to have regen slinkers, speed oozers, and then one new type. And I'm pretty sure it can be just about anything. It can be something awful, it can be something tame, it can be something that I'm very indifferent to. We'll have to see. Seven Ghost, I think that's the same as last time, so that's kind of scary because I have a feeling that might mean it's a more powerful ghost, like a lethal ghost, since the number didn't increase. But that's just the theory on my part. Okay, there's no hidden room, as you can see. I got lucky and got a map early on, but I know exactly where the key is. I know where to go for that. I'm probably still going to explore this floor just simply for the fact that I want powers. Also, Gucci will follow along, watch as he follows along. And then, because he was out, if I didn't know that was there and I ran into it, because he was out, I can switch to him and save myself. Do you see how important that is if you have trouble with traps? It's amazing. It's amazing indeed. Fortunately, I think for some reason I thought I had the Hyper Bulb, but apparently not. I want the Super Culture Gust. Okay. The Hyper Bulb's very important for stunning the ghost and for defending them from hurting you. Like, it's very useful for lethal ghosts because they're deadly and you don't want them to attack. It's also important for certain creatures that have, like, shields, like quote-unquote shields, to use, but I don't have to have the Hyper Bulb. If this doesn't give it to me, I'm probably not going to worry about it. Yeah, I'll just wing it. I'm pretty sure I can handle whatever comes. I might leave the room if it's something really deadly, because we are on floor 15 after all. But otherwise I'm just gonna... Oh, it's Metagoons. They're jokes. Okay, that's fine. And all they do is, while you're slamming or something, they like to heal ghosts, and they're very fast, and they like to heal ghosts that you're slamming in the process of slamming. And their healing is... Not only they can do it, like, unlike the regen ghosts, they have to go sit still and regen. Those can do it while they're moving and stuff, and they also heal at a much more rapid rate, seemingly, than the regen ghost ever did. So Metagoobs are a little annoying, but they're not deadly for the most part. They're very much a support ghost. 5 more floors. This is the last rare ghost floor, I should note. This is a 20-floor session, and the 20th floor will have something pure evil at the end of it, but it's not ghost. Well, I guess it is a type of ghost, but it's not the traditional Luigi's Mansion ghost. It's Mario-style ghost. Booze. It's Boolossus. Spoiler alert. Well, we know where the key is, and it may very well be required unless it's an empty room floor. And I'm definitely not going to skip it, for obvious reasons. Why would I? Okay, obviously I know where the key is because there's 2 Boo statues on each balcony, and that one's invisible, and I know it's not in that one. Also, these little plants, the wider ones have power-ups sometimes, like the ones that are like 2 or 3 tiles. The plants that are like thin, like they're only 1 tile of space, those never have power-ups, so only certain things can even yield power-ups. So don't check every furniture piece thinking you're going to get power-ups. Only certain things can even drop power-ups. And although I may not be able to list every single one of them, especially in the costume floors, just follow along with me and you should see, for the most part, what kind of things can yield power-ups. For the most part. I think this is a hidden room. Also, carpet traps are by far the worst because they have decently big hitboxes. Also, my glasses allow me to see the door. They have decently big hitboxes, and they're probably the most subtle out of all of them, too. Here's a switch room past the locked door, which is interesting. This is a very strange layout. Like, this is not desirable in the slightest if you're trying to go fast, but, like I said, that's not the point of this video, so I don't really mind. Anyway, what's up here? Several ghosts. Okay. Oh, and by the way, as you can tell, this is not an empty room floor. I mean, obviously the key was required, but even beyond that, there's a switch room. There's never switch rooms in those types of floors. 18 more ghosts, and a good chunk of them probably are in here. Now we have to backtrack, because like I said, there's never shortcuts, like past a locked door or a switch room, and we had both this way. Also, that dust cloud coming out of that booth, if you walk into it, unfortunately, it will make you sneeze and make you lose control of Luigi for a little bit, in terms of vacuuming and stuff, so try to avoid dust clouds. Two more rooms left, and we should be done. This floor was kind of a pain. If I mean, like, it could have been a lot worse, like, I think, but this floor was kind of a pain, if I'm being honest. Huh. Well, next floor. I wonder what we'll get. You know, it's interesting. There is one more type of floor that we haven't seen, and it's probably the rarest type of all. It's a crow floor, and basically you're not even attacking ghosts on that one. You're trying to get rid of crows. And that's very, very much an easy floor, typically. Especially if you get the hyper strobe bulb. Because you can just wipe an entire room with one flash. Well, we got a money floor. I guess I can look for a power-up, even though they're not super important on these floors. There might or might not be a hidden room, but like I said, I don't care that much on a money mission. I don't actually think there is anyway, but I don't really care that much. And, you know, I like goobs, so I'm gonna get them anyway. I think one of those was slightly in the wall, but I think I got it. Awesome, we didn't get the poltergust theft. That's good. Also, there's a ton of oozers in this room. Feel free on any money mission, especially single player, because you don't need as much gold. You can skip these rooms if you want, and it might be in your best interest to. Or you can fight the ghost. You could always fight the ghost and get them out of the way. I don't typically like doing that, but you can if you want. Also, quite like the money mission theme. It's fun. Also, is this a bathroom? Because like I said, that's quick money. Indeed it is. I think these may be my last two rooms. Yeah, probably. Wasn't even in the hallway that much on this mission, so the power outage didn't really do much. Moving on. Moving on up to a deluxe apartment in the sky. I don't know why I thought of that. I guess because we're in a tower or a Scarescraper. So yeah. Moving on from references that probably no one my age will understand. Anyway. Now I'm gonna leave that toe behind. If you do it like before he latches onto you, like it's like a couple seconds after the floor disappears, that Toad will start following you. So if you get out of there, you can leave him in the room, and then I can come back for him later when I'm prepared to pick him up. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna get close to the door, defeat the ghost, and then get out before Toad follows me. There's a goob room, which I'm kind of tempted to get, but you know, I don't want to make this video overly long. I guess it wouldn't take that long, though. You know what? Maybe I should go back. Well, I've already gotten this Toad kind of revved up, so I don't want to have him catch me. Or latch on it, like, follow me, is what I'm trying to say. Also, Slinkers can pick up Toads, and if they pick up Toads, you want to just burst them away. And they use Toads as shields, so you can't flash them, and it's a little bit unfortunate. I could take Toad through the TV here, but it's not really worth it considering my other Toads, I have a path for them, so I'm just gonna go the long path and retrace my steps, basically. And you know what? Screw it. Screw it. I'm going and doing this. Whatever. It's not like it's that big of a deal. Oh, this guy's got sunglasses. You can either suck them off, or I believe bursting works as well, but it's honestly, I think, a weaker defense than the lampshade, and it's rarer, so it's kind of weird that it's both more rare and a weaker defense, but whatever the goobs want to do, I guess. Oh, and slightly off topic for what I'm wanting to cover at least, but if anyone's interested in how I got the golden poltergust, if you're watching this long, probably not, but if someone watches this long, if you're curious how I got the golden poltergust, feel free to ask. I'll try to inform you. It's not that complicated, and honestly, you could probably just look it up on Google, but it's quite the arduous task. However, it's easy in concept to do it. Like, it's pretty simple to do it. It's just, yeah, physically doing it is, well, you just have to trial and error and do stuff and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm rambling. Also, if you switch to Luigi, it'll take control of him in the animation, you can leave, see? One more regular floor, and then we have the boss. Incredible. Let's do this. It's a ghost floor, and I imagine a normal ghost floor, but it theoretically could be an empty room floor. Probably not, though. Double teaming for the win. Usually in floors, they'll spawn one at a time. Hammers will spawn one at a time in a bathroom if there's more than one, so yeah. That room's cleared. And this is theoretically a hidden room, although I think it's a switch room or a locked door. Or, no, it's a hidden room. It really is a hidden room. I think. Or, no, I bet I bet a switch room leads over there. That's actually really weird, because I was thinking, yeah, hidden room, but it perhaps isn't. We'll see. Is it? Like, I'm kind of... Maybe it's a locked door? I don't... Like, this layout's a little... Okay, I guess it is from a locked door. Okay. Wasn't expecting that, but okay. Actually, is this a hidden room, or is this just a giant room? It's a giant room, of course. I swear to goodness, if that was a poltergeist theft, I would have been upset. Also, if you latch on to luggage, you can either press the ZL button to blow it away, or you can press or hold ZR in to keep sucking it, and it'll eventually break if you accidentally latch into a little suitcase or something. I think there's one more. I hear one groaning. You know, Slinkers are literally Luigi's Mansion versions of just creepy people. They really are. Oh, I'm gonna grab you. Anyway. See, if you leave Luigi glowing over there, it'll eventually pop them out. Bursting is typically better, but if you don't know where they are, you can leave one of the Luigis or Luigi blowing on something, and it'll eventually reel out the oozer from the furniture. Any interesting things in here? Because these can have power-ups. I'm gonna go and warp over to this room so I can just end in the dead end past the switch room. So teleport over here and then just get all these guys. Unfortunately, because I have glasses, I can see where they're going, so I don't have to worry about this one guy being a jerk because I'm by myself and he has 3 places to hide. Because that could happen, but fortunately I have the glasses, so cool. And we're moving on to Colossus. Now, Colossus, I'm going to try to explain some things while we're waiting. Colossus starts in the 1.4 version of Luigi's Mansion. He starts with 3 attacks. They're always the same attacks, and he always does them in a random order. After that, he does 2 attacks per cycle, and it's random which ones he does, and it's not consistent which ones those are. Typically in single player, Colossus, on a good session, if you know what you're doing, will take 3 cycles. Every other amount of players, it should take 2 cycles if you're doing really well. That attack, you just want to stand in the center, because the lightning won't hurt you there, and then you'll just jump over the attacks. This attack, he bounces 3 times, but doesn't dive into the floor in his large phase. You just want to hop over the shockwave. And then he has 1 more attack coming, and it's 3 waves of lightning in a random pattern. And there's 5 safe tiles, but the tiles that aren't glowing purple is where you want to stand. Now, this may look a little weird, but I'm actually going to stand here and get hurt so I have invincibility frames. You may not want to do that if you're new to this game, but just in case the lightning spawn there again, I'm going to drop Luigi here, and this is for bombs. Now, in 1 and 2 players, you get big bombs, and big bombs increase the stun time of him by a large margin. And in 2-player, you get 1 large bomb, and 1 player you get 2 large bombs, and you need those. You need those so badly because it increases his stun time exponentially compared to what you would get otherwise. Because you simply cannot get as many because you're single player as you would be with multiple players. And like I said, on a good run, you typically want to look at a 3 cycle for single player. And you want to split your attention between boos. You can latch onto 1 boo as Luigi, and then switch to Gooigi. Now he's medium, and he's going to do 2 attack patterns. There's 1 attack pattern that's really slow and tedious, and you want to avoid that. This is the lightning attack again, and as far as I know, this attack is identical from his large phase to his medium phase. Up next is this attack. This attack is also identical in his medium phase. And also, if he is large and does an arrow attack, he has an arrow attack that he can use after his first cycle, and if he's still large after his first cycle, if he uses that attack, he only does 1 wave. If he does it in the medium or small phases, he does it in 2 waves of arrows. Anyway, I got a lot of the bombs there. On a good session, you're looking at about a 4-boot finale on average, and then occasionally you'll do even better than that, but I can't really hope for that right now. And I think that's a 4 or 5 boot finale. That's not too bad, but I could have done a lot better. Now it's Small Boolossus, and Small Boolossus is a little bit more nimble when he dies into the ground. This attack is also different. Instead of right down the center, it's 3 tiles up front, and what you want to do is do this, which is the hard version, but it's fun, and then you can also stand right on these 3 tiles and hop over his tongue like normal. But you want to stay more closer to Boolossus on this phase because he does that in the small phase. This attack, it's just like the pounding in the large phase, except this time he does a lot more, and then he dies into the ground. He can also do this on the medium phase, and he also dies into the ground on that, but the medium phase, it's a slower movement speed in a more predictable pattern. In the small phase, he's a lot faster, and his pattern is pretty predictable, though. But that's not too bad of an attack, although that attack does last way longer, and honestly, I think it should count as 2 attacks, but it doesn't. Anyway. I got all but 1 small bomb. That's actually pretty good. Oh, and it's a 4-boot finale. I thought it was a 5-boot finale. That's actually even better than I thought it would be. And you get basically 2 free boos that you don't want to slam into each other, because if you slam boos into each other, it resets their stun time, but it's a shorter stun time than the bombs give. So, yeah, try not to slam them into each other until you get at least 2. Also, if you play as Luigi and hold your plunger, you can skip the victory animation, say thank you, and just mess around. Anyway, that's a optimal way of fighting Boolossus. I had a little bit of bad luck with the slamming phase and the small phase, but not too bad. And this is my little Scarescraper tutorial fun time gameplay video. I hope you enjoyed, and leave anything in the comments you're interested in. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching. I guess I'll see you next time with probably the Mummy Luigi, the Mummy's Curse. I'll see you then. Thank you for watching, and goodbye, my friends.